This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me right now is Dr. Mark Williams. He is the president and chief scientific officer at Marvel Biosciences. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol's MRVL on the TSX Venture. And Marvel will be presenting at our upcoming virtual event, the SNN.Network Canada virtual event, happening December 7th through 9, 2021. And with that, Dr. Williams, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm well, Robert. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. You know, event next week, we're getting after it. So,
Should be good. Should be good.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our first time doing an interview together. So let's start off. Can you provide us with a quick overview and history of the company?
Yeah, I'd be delighted to. Thank you. So Marvel started off originally almost 5 years ago, in a sense, where we were looking at initially some gene therapy ideas for the company that unfortunately never took off. And then in around 2020, we pivoted over to what the current program is, and that is a redeveloped drug based on the molecule called istradefylline, which is an approved drug for the treatment of Parkinson's disease. And it's actually very similar in many ways to caffeine. And so you can sort of think of it as a turbocharged form of caffeine in a sense. And then over that year, we identified some novel leads, filed our composition of matter patents, showed some very good data in animals that the drug is active, and started the manufacturing and very shortly starting the toxicology for the compound, our MB204 program, which we hope to bring into the clinic roughly Q3 of next year. That would be 2023. And our second program is actually a non-hallucinogenic derivative of the psychedelic class of molecules. So to allow at-home safe dosing of those molecules to get all the benefits, but hopefully none of the liabilities associated with the psychedelics that are currently in vogue with medical practitioners and certainly the investment space right now.
Very good. So what would you say makes Marvel Biosciences unique and different compared to some of your peers out there?
It's a good question. We have, I mean, like many investors before, have been burned by programs and just burning through of capital that's occurred. So at Marvel, we really wanted to try and de-risk that process, and we took a position that if we started off with a known approved drug and modified it so that it would be a conservative change, but hopefully improve upon some activity of the drug, either safety, its efficacy, or maybe even its convenience, we would go a long way to reducing the risk associated with developing a brand new drug. And in this case, we found that the same compound looks like it could have applications in multiple areas, such as depression, Alzheimer's disease. We recently reported evidence in NASH and reducing liver fibrosis in animal models. And we also believe that there is ultimately an oncology play with this molecule as well. So this idea that you're, starting with a known target, a known drug, you got all the basic science done. So we start from a step up, and then that allows us to de-risk it. We move very quickly to the clinic. As I just mentioned, we intend to be in Q3 of 2023, roughly speaking. And of course, we've got this multiple uses of the same drug. So it doesn't become a dead asset if one disease that we tested for fails. There's potentially one or more even uses of the drug. So that's kind of our high level approach. And we've taken a similar kind of approach with the second program as well, but that really gives you a flavor of how we do things. And we do it capital efficiently and time efficiently as well.
Very good. And what's your background? I mean, how'd you get started in all this?
It's a checkered past, I'll be honest. No. I started off, my background is in biochemistry, and interestingly, for a short period of time, I was working with a gentleman who found a new use for the drug lamivudine, which was a key drug for the treatment of hepatitis B. It originally started off its life as a treatment for HIV, as it turned out. So actually, in my graduate student years, I was able to be exposed to the idea of taking a drug for one indication and using it for a new indication, which is kind of what we're trying to do with Marvel, only we're taking an extra step to slightly modify the drug. But like I said, originally our istradefylline has been used to treat Parkinson's, but now we're trying to find similar uses of a similar drug for, say, the Alzheimer's and depression and NASH, as we all talked about. And then after about 15 to 18 years, I was with two other public companies, and saw the timelines and the costs, and it's a real grind to get drugs into the clinic. So we really tried to go back and use all the knowledge, try not to repeat the same mistakes twice, and really get a very good compound lead identified right off the bat, and move it along as quickly as possible. So I mean, my background's about 15, going probably more like closer to 20 years in this space, from everything from inventing the drug all the way through preclinical testing, toxicology, manufacturing, and phase 1 to clinical trials. So I've kind of been there and done it, pretty much the 90% of the way through. So I've got quite a bit of background on that level.
Got it. All right. So then to close this out here, from what you can tell us, what would you say is the one thing that investors should look for now going into 2022?
Yeah, that's great. We're moving and hitting our milestones pretty well, I would say, so far. We're in striking distance of the clinic, and historically, for biotech companies, the transition from preclinical to clinical is a very, very big moment. And we can see that goal line kicking over. And in fact, we're actually doing it one step further. Normally, when you do your clinical trials, especially the early stages, they're all about safety, making sure your compound is safe. But I think we have an opportunity to prove the drug might be active in man as well. So if we're able to do that, historically, that's where biotech companies often see their largest valuation increases, if they can prove their drug is active for a particular disease that they're going after. In our case, it's going to be neurologically related. So, we're on the fast track for that. And of course, I think our second generation, I call them psychedelic 2.0, non-hallucinogenic derivatives also have a lot of potential there. And we're looking to advance a candidate to clinical trials in the next 6 months for that. And I think that's where the psychedelic space is ultimately going to need to go. And I think that's where pharma is going to start really focusing their interest, is in these safer, patentable derivatives of the psychedelics that, like I said, have very few liabilities like abuse potential or hallucinations, so that patients can take them safely at home. So that's all coming.
And Dr. Williams, where can our audience go and find more information on Marvel Biosciences?
Right. It's please go ahead and look at our website, marvelbiosciences.com. We'll be updating it shortly as well. And of course, participate in the SNN conference coming up as well.
Very good. All right. Well, Dr. Williams, thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. And I look forward to our next update.
Likewise, Robert. Thank you.